The Rock suffers a massive loss. John Cena finally addresses fan backlash after tapping out. Nick Aldis speaks on how Triple H personally brought him into WWE. Nick Aldis spilled what really happens inside WWE's production meetings, the truth about Royal Rumble 2026 being postponed, the real reasons why WWE pulled the plug on Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, a WWE personality is facing a lifetime ban, and much, much more. Starting with, John Cena finally addresses fan backlash after tapping out. John Cena may have surprised the WWE universe by tapping out to Gunther at Saturday night's main event, but he's not backing down from how it all ended. In fact, he thinks it was perfect. Speaking at Fan Expo in New Orleans, Cena directly addressed the backlash he's received for choosing to lose his retirement match via submission. And instead of deflecting, Cena leaned into the criticism and offered a rare look into his mindset. Losing my last match against Gunther. Thank you for reminding me that you're allowed to have your opinion, and thank you for not just conforming to a certain set of standards. He acknowledged the division among fans. Rather than reject negative opinions, Cena embraced them as part of the story. He explained that he carefully built this ending, knowing it wouldn't please everyone, but that was the point. Cena then compared the moment to his 23-year career as a whole, one filled with polarizing reactions. Thank you for being vocal enough to express how you felt. I put together a story which I think y'all would enjoy. When there's critical opinion out there, I'm all ears. Don't ignore critics. I'm thankful for them at DC, and everywhere before that. Like I said, I guess it kind of parallels my career. I think it was a perfect end, because a whole lot of people thought it sucked. A whole lot of people thought it was special, and that's kind of been my story for 23 years. So I thought it was perfect. His isn't the first time Cena has spoken about that emotional final moment. On Cody Rhodes' podcast, What Do You Want to Talk About?, he revealed the symbolism behind the smile he gave as he passed out in the ring. To Cena, it wasn't about defeat, it was about letting go. You always read, "This person died peacefully." That's what it felt like. I faced death with a smile, knowing we're in a good place, knowing things are going to be great moving forward. At the bottom of the shirt, it said, "I gave everything. Thank you for everything." In that one moment, that was it, going peacefully. Now that he's spoken publicly and clearly about why he chose to end his career this way, one thing is certain. Love it or hate it, Cena meant every second of it. Do you think John Cena made the right call in how his final WWE match ended, or should he have gone out differently? Nick Aldis speaks on how Triple H personally brought him into WWE. Nick Aldis may not be lacing up his boots every week, but his impact in WWE is undeniable. And it all started with a direct message to the boss. Speaking on K100 with Conan and Disco Inferno, Aldis revealed how his current WWE run began behind the scenes, and it had everything to do with reaching out to Triple H. According to Aldis, there was no audition, no drawn-out process, just a straightforward conversation and a promise to contribute. Aldis explained that when the general manager role was first offered to him, he initially struggled with stepping away from the ring. At the time, he was 36 years old and still very much in wrestling shape, but he decided to embrace the opportunity with professionalism. I'm still old school in the sense that, like, yeah, I came up in it still. You know, when I first came in, it was still very much like, your word is your bond, right? It's a handshake. You look someone in the eye. And when I reached out to Hunter, I said, I want to contribute in whatever way you see fit. And this is the way he saw fit. So I went, great, watch me contribute. Now, over 2 years into his WWE tenure, Aldis is thriving in his role and earning respect both on and off screen. While fans continue to speculate about a potential in-ring return, Aldis seems focused on mastering the role he was given, proving that loyalty and work ethic still go a long way in this business. With his foot already in the door and his reputation as one of wrestling's most polished professionals intact, it's hard to imagine WWE not giving Aldis at least one match down the line. What do you think? Should Nick Aldis step into the ring for a WWE match, or is he better suited staying in his GM role? In other news on the same podcast, Nick Aldis spilled what really happens inside WWE's production meetings. He just gave fans a rare peek behind WWE's curtain, and it turns out the most entertaining moments might be happening before the show even airs. The WWE on-screen GM talked about the energy and chaos that goes down during the company's internal production meetings. With names like Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, Road Dogg, Shane Helms, Daivari, and Michael Hayes in the room, it's no surprise things can get off track fast. Aldis described a backstage culture filled with talent, tension, and a surprising amount of laughter. At the heart of it all, Michael Hayes. And with that kind of personality mix, things occasionally go off the rails in the best way. Michael Hayes, he's like a genius, but also completely insane. Sometimes the meetings just go completely off the rails for a few minutes, and everyone's just like, falling over laughing, and then it's kind of like, all right, let's get back to work. Let's figure out what this TV show is going to look like. According to Aldis, the meetings are usually led by Brian Fadum, with Triple H, Ed Koskey, and Pritchard calling the shots, while the rest of the team brings their own flair and insight to shaping the final product. It's clear that even with billion-dollar stakes on the line, WWE's backstage crew doesn't take itself too seriously, and that's probably a good thing. Aldis's breakdown is a reminder that WWE isn't just about body slams and promos. There's an entire ecosystem of personalities behind the scenes working hard and laughing hard before the red light ever turns on. The truth about Royal Rumble 2026 being postponed. The WWE is ready to make history in 2026, with the Royal Rumble set to emanate in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is the first time one of the big four PLEs is being hosted by Saudi Arabia. Last year, WWE announced that the Royal Rumble would move to the Middle East in 2026. This is part of the company's billion-dollar 10-year deal with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to promote sports and culture in the country. However, the Royal Rumble will create history, as the event will be staged in a brand new arena under construction in the King Abdullah Financial District. This is a clear departure from the company's traditional Saudi shows, which were held at Kingdom Arena or King Fahd Sports City Stadium. Earlier this month, pictures of the new venue began to circulate on social media. This raised concerns, as many fans believed the stadium was far from complete and could affect the PLE. PW Insider has now reported that the venue is actually nearing completion and will be ready for the January 31st event. Any talks of possibly delaying the event have been dismissed. The 2026 edition will be significant for WWE, as it marks the first time in history that a PLE will take place outside North America. The show starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, designed to accommodate a global audience across multiple time zones. Fans are excited for one of the most anticipated PLEs of the year. The major names like Roman Reigns, Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn are considered favorites to win the men's event, while Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan are favorites for the women's event. Other major stars, including CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, Gunther, Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and many more, will also be on the show. Alexa Bliss officially replaces Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair have been a tag team in WWE since the second half of 2025. However, the Queen has not been seen by Little Miss Bliss's side over the last few days due to an illness. This has resulted in Bliss teaming up with an unexpected name. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair officially joined forces in June 2025. The duo did not take long to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, as they defeated Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez at SummerSlam. They went on to hold the titles for over 100 days before dropping the gold to the Kabuki Warriors a couple of months back. While the duo continued as a tag team despite losing the title, Bliss was seen by herself on SmackDown last Friday, where she revealed that Charlotte is dealing with an illness. Little Miss Bliss has also been competing in singles matches on the recent house shows. However, that changed at last night's live event in Mannheim, as Alexa found a new partner. The former women's champion joined forces with Dragon Lee to take on Asuka and Kofi Kingston in a mixed tag team match. Bliss picked up the win for her team by pinning Asuka. Alexa Bliss was in action on last week's SmackDown, where she did not have the support of her tag team partner, Charlotte Flair. Little Miss Bliss took on Julia for the Women's United States Championship. However, Lash legend and Nia Jax interfered in the match, costing Alexa a chance to win the gold. While the Queen is currently unwell, she is not expected to stay on the sidelines for long. One can expect Alexa and Charlotte to go after Nia Jax and Lash legend once the 14-time women's champion returns to action. Bliss and Flair will also be looking to reclaim the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship, as they never got a rematch on TV programming after losing the gold to the Kabuki Warriors. The real reasons why WWE pulled the plug on Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. There was significant hype that WWE could book the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns trilogy at this year's WrestleMania. However, the American Nightmare lost the undisputed WWE Championship in an upsetting loss on Friday Night SmackDown against Drew McIntyre, which has now changed the entire trajectory of the Showcase of the Immortals. According to a recent report by Wrestling Observer Radio, Triple H and his creative team have scrapped the plans for Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes III by putting the title on Drew McIntyre. Let's see why World Wrestling Entertainment pulled the plug on Reigns versus Rhodes III at this year's Showcase of the Immortals. Both the American Nightmare and the Undisputed Tribal Chief are listed as the babyfaces as of the writing of this piece. Triple H and his creative team may not put them against each other, with both being babyfaces. The Stamford-based promotion could put the inevitable trilogy together for next year's WrestleMania, where one could be a heel, ending the long-term Mania rivalry with a bang. The Stamford-based promotion already lacks top top stars on the shows. Given that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are two big icons on the World Wrestling Entertainment roster, neither man can afford to take a loss. It would harm their credibility and their standing in the sports entertainment juggernaut. Given the history between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and the box office hits they have produced at 2 Manias consecutively, their trilogy bout could break all the records, and the promotion may be saving their trilogy match for next year's WWE WrestleMania. The 43rd edition of the Showcase of the Immortals is all set to take place in Saudi Arabia. The company may host the biggest show of shows next year, and Triple H may be saving the banger bout for next year. The Miz shares his true feelings on how the WWE is treating him. WWE star The Miz recently spoke openly about how the company and fans treat him. The star is a 2-time Grand Slam champion in the WWE. The must-see superstar has been with the WWE for 2 decades now. Initially seen as an outsider, transitioning from reality TV into pro wrestling, he worked hard to make a name for himself. The self-proclaimed A-lister became a 2-time Grand Slam champion, Money in the Bank winner, and even headlined WrestleMania. However, he has never truly been seen as a blockbuster attraction for the company. During a recent appearance on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, the 45-year-old star noted that he gets respected by the fans and in the locker room. However, he noted that the recognition was never fully shown in the right way. The Miz explained that a star, John Cena, got full praise and proper adulation for his performances, but he only received a part of the respect he was due. Yes, I feel the respect. I feel it in the locker room. I feel it in the crowd, but I'll hear you say it. Oh, Miz has gotten his flowers. You know what kind of flowers I get? I get the ones that are half dead, that you give to me and they're gonna die the next day. You don't give me a full bouquet of flowers that are like, here are your flowers. John Cena gets the flowers. I don't get the flowers. I get the half-dead flowers that are like, here you go, here's your flowers. We're giving you your flowers. It's the half-assed flowers. Drew McIntyre's win over Cody Rhodes last week on SmackDown has set things upside down in WWE. The company recently announced that it would host a new tournament on the Blue brand to crown the next challenger for McIntyre's undisputed WWE Championship. The matches will start from this week's episode of SmackDown. The matches announced for the show include Randy Orton versus The Miz, Matt Cardona versus Trick Williams, Damian Priest versus Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. The winners will face off in a fatal 4-way at Saturday night's main event to determine the #1 contender for the undisputed WWE Championship. A WWE personality is facing a lifetime ban. Becky Lynch has become more boisterous after recapturing the Women's Intercontinental Championship. After targeting several stars on social media, the man has turned her crosshairs back on WWE panelist Peter Rosenberg. The Irish wrestler had notably gotten Rosenberg kicked out of the first Monday Night Raw anniversary on Netflix. The 46-year-old was escorted out of the Barclays Center just ahead of the finish of Lynch's title win against Maxine Dupree. As a result, the panelists never saw the man using the ropes to pin the Alpha Academy member. While Rosenberg had already made a video about the matter after getting kicked out, he also recently spoke up about it again on his Cheap Heat podcast. In response, Becky Lynch posted a tweet on X suggesting that the panelist could face a lifetime ban from WWE shows. Speaking of crying, Pipsqueak Peter Rosenberg is mad I got him tossed out last week. What a loser! Might be a lifetime ban. That's what the Bulldog wants. We will see. Let that serve as a warning to all those not willing to report the truth. Do the right thing or get thrown out, she wrote. This Women's Intercontinental Champion's reaction comes after she had asked Rosenberg to issue an apology for calling her a psychotic and a lunatic in his previous video. She is facing Maxine Dupree on the upcoming episode of Raw on January 19th in a rematch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. However, the reigning champ seems to have already shifted her focus back to AJ Lee and CM Punk. The 7-time WWE Women's Champion posted an angry tweet on X in response to a video clip of the Second City Saint talking about his wife on the Not Sam Wrestling podcast. She accused analyst Sam Robbers of glazing the couple and also expanded the initials of both their names while mocking them. Lynch and Lee have faced each other twice in the ring since the latter's return in September 2025. The man was forced to tap out to AJ's Black Widow submission hold both times, at WrestlePalooza and at the Survivor Series. It would be interesting to see if the two of them cross paths again this year. The Rock suffers a massive loss. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson recently took to social media to share an emotional update. The Brahma Bull suffered a massive loss outside the world of professional wrestling. The Rock is one of the greatest names to ever step inside the squared circle. For quite some time, Rocky has shifted his career from WWE to Hollywood. The Final Boss's recent project, The Smashing Machine, received widespread praise from the audience and critics. The People's Champion also received his first ever Golden Globe nomination in the Best Male Actor category for his role as Mark Kerr in the aforementioned movie. However, the former WWE champion suffered a massive loss at the Golden Globes, as the Best Male Actor award went to Timothée Chalamet for his performance in Marty Supreme. He recently took to Instagram to share an emotional personal update after his major loss at the Golden Globes. Rocky shared that after the show, he had a family dinner where he revealed that he had planned to pull out a handwritten note from his 10-year-old daughter if he had won the Golden Globe. After dinner and before dessert, I felt compelled to share a few words of my own and show my family the note I was planning on pulling out of my pocket if my name was called, and I was standing on that stage. It was a note written from my 10-year-old daughter, Jazzy, given to me that morning of the Globes. If you can dream, you can do it. It's the little things in life, like this note from my kid or having my family all together like this, that reminds me that I've already won, he said. The Brahma Bull added that he hoped one day he would get to stand on a stage where he could pull his daughter's note out after winning a major award. The former WWE champion also thanked everyone for supporting him. That said, one day, I hope to have the honor of my name being called and standing on a stage where I can pull this note out and read it to the world as our powerful reminder. If you can dream it, you can do it. Then I'll grab my family, we'll go drink tequila, and stuff our faces with desserts all night long, making a complete mess of ourselves. F it. And thank you all your incredible and inspiring support as I humbly journey down this long, windy road. Thanks for having my back, as I'll always have yours. Onward and back to work, he added. Although The Rock has not made any appearances on WWE TV since he aligned with John Cena at the 2025 Elimination Chamber, many believe he will return to the company ahead of WWE WrestleMania 42. However, according to Andrew Baydala, the Brahma Bull won't wrestle at this year's Mania, but he might have an offer to compete at next year's show of shows in Saudi Arabia. It remains to be seen what the final boss has planned for his future in the professional wrestling world.